What's going on, YouTube? JB's Game Store back with another opening. Today, I have a full booster case of the Doom of Dimensions. I know it is a little bit late. Unfortunately, I had a delay in shipping because of USPS showing up at exactly the 15 minutes I was gone for a walk. But nonetheless, I did get this from the USPS today, this morning, and finally, I can go ahead and open it. It kind of worked out a little bit on some cards prices at least, but I want to see what we can get out of this full case. Definitely looking for Marshmallow. Specifically, the Starlight Rare would be nice, obviously, being a store, but also the Secret Rare for my Yummy deck that I have built. And I do actually plan to go to locals for the first time in years. October 11th right now is kind of my plan. It's roughly an hour drive, which is why I haven't typically been. I would like to find something closer, but we'll see as I talk to people locally and stuff. And I'm gonna go back to the store that I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh at many years ago. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and crack open all 12 of these boxes, get the packs ready, and I'll see you at the other side. All right, we're back, and we do have all of the packs out of the boxes and ready to open. It is roughly 11:30 at night for me, so I'm gonna go kind of quick, but I do want to make sure I stop at the important cards. There are several secret rares I'm looking for, as well as K9. Noroi, I believe, is an ultra rare in this set. That seems to be pretty good. And then Thunderbolt is the secret rare I'm looking for the most. So, but either way, we start here with a DDD Wise King Solomon. Actually, with the super rares, I'm just going to keep those off to the side. And the commons and stuff, I'll probably fly through those pretty quick. I do think it's cool. There's some kind of Amazona support in here, which is interesting. What does this fusion draft thing do? Fusion draft, we've got discard one card, then reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck. Add one of the fusion materials whose names are mentioned on that revealed monster from your deck to or graveyard to your hand, except the discarded card. Then you can add a second such card to your hand if the first card added was a normal monster. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters. That's interesting. So, I mean, you could do something with maybe like Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, maybe. But I'm sure there's other things that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. But it seems like there's some different stuff. Let's see, this can be made by level 7s, so maybe Regenesis support. Let me read it. Gains 700 attack for each material attached to it once per chain when a normal or quick play spell card is activated. Quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this face-up card, and if you do, this card is unaffected by that activated card. During the end phase, you can set one spell card that is attached to this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per chain, when a normal or quick play spell is activated, quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this face-up card. And if you do, this card is unaffected by that activated card. So I believe that should work where you can activate either the Regenesis spell or the regular spell or the quick play spell. Attach it to this card. The effect should still activate because he's just not affected by it. It does have 2500 defense, so you can special other ones off of it. And then also you get to set a spell card that's attached to this card during the end phase. So then you could like reset the Regenesis quick play and then activate it on your opponent's turn. So that could be interesting. It's something to think about, I guess, as far as playing in that deck. I could see it being a one of your extra deck. There's not very many cards that are like must use in it. So very interesting. You do have the Black Rose support in this set. Let's see, and a lot of these random links seem to be getting play, these common link cards. This one is 2 monsters, including a Dark Spellcaster monster. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 level 5 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster from your graveyard to your hand, but you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with its name for the rest of this turn. That's kind of weird. You can send one spell / trap from your hand or field to the graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon one spellcaster monster. You can only use each effect. So like you could normal summon, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with its name. It's like, yeah, you could get Dark Magician out, but then it like limits you, it seems like, to what you can activate with Dark Magician's names. I don't know that it's good or not, but maybe it seems like maybe Dark Magician support. So like I said, we do need to get through these a little quick, but I am interested in reading through some of the new cards and trying to see what they might be used for. Serene Psychic, some more Psychic support, it looks like. We got a Vengeful Witch, which is a card I have not seen yet. I guess I can do kind of like that. The commons are going to get a little bit big, but I'll move those as we go if needed. Licorice Lily Reaper, Dark Contract of the Different Dimension, Goki Game Face, Etherealize Overdrive, which is a Medius the Pure support, so that can help Medius the Pure in Archmage or Doomsday, because it is played in both of those decks. It is an important part of those decks. There's several wake-up cards that I'm starting to notice in multiple sets now, so it'll be interesting to see if that's something that ever, is a thing. And we're just going to put the supers right there. And so we got Okiku's Dish Count, DD Defense, Megalith. So there is Megalith support, which I did see in Genesis did pretty well. Black Rose Garden is our first ultra rare, so that's interesting. It is an continuous spell. Let's see. When this card is activated, you can add one Rose Dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. All face-up monsters on the field become plant monsters. That includes your opponents, that can definitely be something that's useful. If this card is destroyed, inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each plant monster in your graveyard and banishment. Then, if this card was destroyed by the effect of Black Rose Dragon, inflict 2400 damage to your opponent. You can only use the effect of Black Rose Garden once per turn. You can only activate one Black Rose Garden per turn. That's interesting. So it does 2400 anyways if you activate a Black Rose Dragon. And if it was destroyed, in general, you inflict 100 damage for each plant monster in your graveyard and banishment. So that's pretty interesting. More of the Megalith support, Archmage support, 2 Archmage support cards there. Which I do have all of the Archmage cards, so including Medius the Pure. So definitely something I could maybe mess around with at some point. We got Goki support, Infernal Punisher, Sulfachord support is in here, more Dracotail support, and we've got RBs in here. So it is interesting that the core sets have started to just kind of be additional support to the deck building sets, and then there's some stuff that comes out in the core sets that's just like bonus basically. Like it's kind of like partial things, I guess you could say. Like RBs, if I remember correctly, the RBs were in another core set. We got part of the deck and then we got the other part now, but it doesn't really seem like the decks that are in the core sets seem to be very good. They all seem to be pretty mid, honestly, at this point, and maybe that'll change if they give like Archmage more support. We got Dominus Spiral as our first secret rare. Not a bad hit there. It does seem to be gaining traction a little bit, at least in the market. I don't really know where it's played yet, but let's go ahead and read it for the people that haven't heard of it yet or haven't looked into it yet. The Dominus cards in general have been pretty strong. During the turn in which your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card from your hand. Target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand or extra deck. Then if you have no traps in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one monster. Wait, if you have no traps in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one monster from their graveyard. If you activated this card from the hand, you cannot activate the effect of light or dark monsters for the rest of this duel. You can only activate one Dominus Spiral per turn. So, I mean, that seems pretty good. Try to make it not your first trap card in the graveyard, obviously. But if they have nothing in the graveyard, then what does it matter, right? If you're going, second? Because during the turn on which your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card from your hand. So, I mean, seems pretty good. That's the only time you would activate it from hand, but you can activate it, as it's set to target a monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand or extra deck. So it's like a compulse that can potentially activate from the hand. So that's pretty interesting. It's a compulse that can activate from the hand, and it doesn't have to activate at the moment that they activated an effect, it looks like, from the hand or graveyard. It's just during the turn in which they've done that. So that's very interesting, especially if you're going to get somebody that likes to just activate Fuwalos on their own turn. Some people do that in the main phase of their own turn. So it's very, very, very interesting, especially like against the Yummy, because they seem to, activate all kinds of effects on your turn and basically play during your turn. So definitely interesting. RB operation test. So there's a lot of RB cards, a lot of DD cards, and then obviously some of the Rose cards. Sphinx. I wonder if that goes with the old Sphinx. Oh yeah, Radiant. I forgot about the Radiants for a minute. I do like the Radiant cards. I don't know that they'll necessarily be any good, but I always love to activate MST. That's one of my favorite things from old Yu-Gi-Oh! Is activating MST. I used to use it all of the time. So let's see. Goki Shriek, Goki Dragon, interesting. RB Shepherd's Crook. So our second ultra rare. It's not exactly a very good one, but if RBs ever become good, maybe. Who knows? More Art Mage and Sulfur Cord support. The Sulfur Cords seem to actually be pretty good now. They're pretty, I'd say, decent. They're not tier 1, obviously, but very, very playable for sure. Let's see what this, I don't know what the super is. It's Ichiki or Ichiki Sayori Hime. Cannot be special summoned, so that's an interesting start. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned or flip face up this turn, return this card to the hand, so it is a spirit. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If you control a monster with 800 attack or defense and this card is in your hand, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon this card. So it normal summons itself without having to actually use your normal summon. If this card is normal summon, you can add one level 4 light or dark monster with 800 attack or defense from your deck to your hand. So that's pretty neat. I believe there's some monarchs that have that potentially, like the smaller ones. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of what archetype would use that, but I'm pretty certain that there is someone that uses it. More Sulfur Cord stuff. I don't really have Sulfur Cord cards other than these now, obviously. So that's not something I really will be looking to make. Radiant stuff, maybe. Radiant Typhoon Vision is a card that I believe will see some play. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of Radiant Typhoon Vision once per turn. One of the effects is draw 2 cards, then if you have a Radiant Typhoon card or a Quick Play spell card in your hand, discard one of them, or your entire hand if you don't. This is a card that is a draw 2 and you can discard a spell, so this can be used in Sky Striker very easily. There's plenty of Quick Play spells in Sky Striker, and I mean, honestly, even at the end of the day, MST is not that terrible in Sky Striker, so very interesting. We got a Goki Fusion monster, which is quite strange. Not something I had on my bingo sheet per se, but that is definitely an interesting thing to see there. Let's see, more Radiant Typhoon, Doom Z stuff, Sphinx. We haven't seen a whole lot of Doom. There we go. We got a Doom Z7, so there's some Doom Z stuff for you. Another Dogmatica card, which is interesting. Let's see what this trap does, because I will be searching this in my Regenesis deck potentially, if it's any good. Target one monster in your graveyard or banishment, send to the graveyard. Okay, so target a monster in your graveyard or banishment. send to the graveyard one monster from your extra deck or one Dogmatica monster from your deck with attack higher than or equal to that target. And if you do, special summon that target till the end of your next turn. After this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. So that could be useful, potentially. Not a completely useless trap card, I don't believe. It's definitely some kind of useful. There's a lot of effects that can obviously happen with that. So, Sulfur Wake Up, Axon Kicker, and more. There's been a lot of psychic support lately. That definitely is the case. Which, with this Genesis format going on, that could be a deck that definitely pops up because there is so much support. I could definitely see that being a thing. Punks do have some cost, but not really a lot, if we're being honest. Punks are definitely a thing you can play. We got the Doom Z V5, which V is just 5 anyways, Amwalthi or whatever, however you want to pronounce that. So we've got that is our third ultra rare. We're still looking for the second secret of this box. We've gotten 3 ultras and 1 secret so far. And we have a Radiant Typhoon Varurun. The Vibrant Vortex is our super. Let's see, this is still the first box. So at some point I will start to rip through these a little faster. Basically starting now. We've got another Doomsy. We have, well, it's our first one of these, Doomsy Command Doomdirg, which is an equip spell. Always still hoping for the error pack where we get more prayers and stuff than we're supposed to get. We got our first Radiant Typhoon Crusea, which is roughly a $5 card. The last time I looked, it seems to be a pretty decent card that is somewhat splashable. Unfortunately, it does not have 2500 attack or defense, or I would love to play it in the Genesis stuff. I plan on playing around a little bit more with it now. Especially Trip kind of had some good points with playing 60 cards. I used to play Pokemon. Regenesis Overlord, which is one of the Regenesis cards I was looking for. I did already have one, thankfully. I opened a couple boxes, not on video, of the little mini boxes, and I did pull a Regenesis Overlord, and it's already in my Regenesis deck. So, Power Patron Doom Z. So the Power Patron stuff I've noticed I thought was just for the Art Mages, but it seems to just be a Medius the Pure, however you want to pronounce it, thing. So Power Patron Doom Z. That one. But I kind of want to see what I can experiment with on the Regenesis stuff, because the Dogmatica cards are very good for it, and we have the Thunderbolt now, but some of the other ones were still decent. We got another ultra rare here, so this is the 4th ultra rare, so probably not any more hits in this box, but Radiant Typhoon Phonix, the Great Flame. I am going to still open the other packs though. I know there are some people out there in the world that aren't that great that would see these hits and go ahead and end the box, but number 1, you could be missing out on a Starlight Rare because, that's a thing. And number 2, that's just not right for the people, honestly. RB Operation Tests. I know there are people out there that do it, though, which is why I'm always a little skeptical of buying stuff when it's not, like, completely random. Especially like a case, I want that case to be sealed. This one was still sealed with the Konami tape on the original box that the case came in. So it was the case directly from Konami, essentially. It did go through the hands of another store, but that's it. So Levantine the Burning Blade takes 2 fire monsters. During the main phase quick effect, you contribute 1 other fire monster, then target 1 fire monster in your graveyard with the same original type but a lower original level than that monster. Special summon it in defense. If a face down card in your spell and trap card zone would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. Interesting. I'm sure there's some kind of use out there for it, but I don't believe I saw it in Fire Kings this past weekend during the YCSs, so we'll see if it ever comes up. We're on to our next box. We already have a playset of this super. We'll obviously have playsets of all the supers by a long shot. Won't even be close. We got a yummy. You got the Yum Yum Yummies, which did not see play in Triff's deck. Go figure. He actually cut down the Yummies a decent bit to fit everything. For anyone who hasn't seen Triff's deck from... Oh, I don't need to put a sleeve on it. But I will put that one to the side just to have it as an option for my Yummy stuff. But to anyone who hasn't seen it, Triff did play new Vels with Mitsurugi's, with Yummy, and a 60 card deck. And he was talking about kind of how playing 60 cards, and we got a Rage Rose Witch Ultra Rare. Pretty neat plant synchro that goes with the Black Rose Dragon theme stuff. But he was talking about how playing 60 cards allows you to play multiple engines, and we have so many different Rhoda style cards now. That's definitely a very, doable thing is to play 60 cards and stuff. A very consistent deck that has a lot of 1-card starters for each one of the different archetypes, basically, within the deck. And as long as the archetypes have some kind of a bridge or use for each other, that's something that seems like it could definitely work out. In that deck, the Herald goes into a crazy combo that can get you to just about anything. Which is very neat. Triff did make a video on how to use that. Tri-Brigade Hammer. I am going to put that to the side as well, as I am a big Tri-Brigade fan. I do play them in my Gladiator Beast deck, which is another deck that I could potentially go up, but I don't foresee that going beyond the 40 cards really, because the Gladiator Beast combo is unfortunately a 2-card combo. Which does suck, but it is what it is. It's not a good deck for a reason. But it is a fun deck that I enjoy. It's not fun for my opponents if I do happen to pop off. It is a very hard board to break. So let's see. I guess I should go ahead and pull these Overlords out just so that I have my full playset, because I only pulled 1 out of the mini boxes that I opened. I only opened, I think, 4. I did technically record them, but I never got to editing it, and now I'm opening this, and I'd rather just go ahead and post this, and maybe I'll make another mini box video for the Doom of Dimensions. But Horned Brute of Carnivorous. It's a dinosaur fire type, so that's interesting. With all the Fire King and Fire King Dino stuff going on now, with the Jirax played in the Fire Kings. Doomsday Command again, and I didn't see Horned Brute in those decks, but it's interesting just to see more. It is a tuner as well, but a fire dinosaur thing to kind of potentially try to use and go into. So this Hunting Horn is a quick play, so it's another card that might be helpful in Amazonas. Now, Amazonas won't be good, obviously, but, it's one of those things where, again, people haven't explored much in Genesis yet. So it's definitely another Black Rose Garden. Interesting. It's definitely something that could be explored, and who knows what is really actually going to be good in Genesis at this point. Honestly, it's completely up in the air. Nobody really knows. Most people are just gravitating towards what are good decks that don't use links and using that at this point. So Axon Kicker Oracle, that's kind of what the people seem to be doing. And I can't deny it myself. I've been thinking Regenesis for Genesis, oddly enough. But there are definitely other decks that I would be interested in trying out, other decks that I would like to see that don't use links, especially maybe some old school synchro format style stuff. Oh, we got our first secret rare of this box. It is Dracotel Frixel, which will go into my Dracotel stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and sleeve that up, put that off to the side. Actually, I'll leave it in my secret rare stack, so at the end when I go over all the pulls, I've got it there. But I will be holding on to one of those. I'm sure I'll pull more than that, but it doesn't seem like it's a card you need more than one of, so we will leave it as it is. We got another RB. I've considered picking up all the RB stuff, because I was thinking maybe the support in this will make it do something, and then I decided not to, and well, it didn't really seem to do anything. So good choice by me, not picking everything else up yet. Obviously, all it takes is some busted card to come out with Earth Machines. We got a K904 Neroi, I believe is how you pronounce it. This is the new K9 card that people are definitely using. I believe it is the best ultra rare in the set to pull value wise. I believe it was somewhere like around $16 or so the last time I checked, which was earlier today. But obviously, with the set being new, anything's possible with the market. It can fluctuate very quickly. Let's see, we're rushing through here a little bit, but Chanbar the Flashy Sports Knight, what a name. Very interesting one, to say the least. We've got Doom Z Raiders. I'm really hoping to get Marshmallow Starlight Rare. A playset would be even better, but you know, that's asking way too much. Asking for one even feels like it's a lot to ask for, considering how many different Starlight Rares there are. But I would really like to get Marshmallow, maybe the Draco Tail. That one would be pretty neat since it is a one of. You know, that's one I would consider keeping myself, but you know, we'll see. Doomsy Break. Lots of Doomsy stuff. It is all cheap, so that might be something I buy for myself. It's just a playset of all the cards like I did with the Art Mage. We got RB Shepherd's Crook. I do have all the Armage, like I said, and ultimately I don't even need a playset of all of it. It seems like Archmage is pretty good in Genesis, so maybe I just have Regenesis for regular and I have Archmage for Genesis format. That's a possibility. I've been looking at Archmage with the Fiendsmith because they do have that Etherealize card, I believe is what it's called. So you can turn your monster into a Light Fiend and go into full Fiendsmith combo. Power Patron Doomsy. You know, because now with Moon gone, it's a little bit harder to get into the Fiendsmith combo, so it can't be played in literally every deck. But there are definitely ways to get into it. But then another Dominus Spiral. So we got our second Dominus Spiral. Being a Dominus card, you know, definitely could see it going up. Also with the Man of the Mark, Man with the Mark, whatever. That's 2 boxes, by the way. Man with the Mark winning a YCS this past weekend. That is a trap deck, Dominus Spiral. Obviously, if there's not a trap card in your graveyard, they get a special summon from the graveyard. But if you're playing a trap deck, you probably have traps already there. Also, in something like Regenesis, I can actually send my trap card, the Regenesis trap, to the graveyard to special summon all my Regenesis monsters from the grave, and then that would put a trap in the grave, and then I can activate Dominus Spiral after that to interrupt their field even more. So if I've done a bunch of interruptions with the Regenesis monsters, I could then send it, or I can also send the Regenesis trap with Regenesis Sage to negate. It's an Omni negate where you have to send a Regenesis card from your field or hand to the graveyard. And so that's something I could definitely do, is send that trap card after I've said maybe I used it to do the Book of Moon effect. I've sent a Regenesis from the deck to the grave, and then I use Sage to then send it to the graveyard to negate another effect. We did pull a DD0 Doom Queen Machine X, but that's just, you know, some of the stuff I'm thinking of. Maybe the Dominus Spiral could be useful for. So there's definitely obviously like Labyrinth and stuff as well that could be pretty interesting. So Power Patron again, so the same super rare for our super rare slot back to back. I'm hoping to see a Starlight Rare here soon because we haven't seen one yet. This is the 3rd box. K966X Jax, the K9 card. K9 is one of the archetypes that I did not hold on to. I sold it all while it was high when I did the video of opening the Justice Hunters format, or the Justice Hunters case. I sold all the Azunas that I pulled. I think I pulled 5 regular Azunas and then 1 Starlight Azuna. So 6 total Azunas. I'll pull this to the side just because it is yummy and I know it's not expensive, so I'll buy that myself, or buy that for myself, I should say. Let's see, we've got an Endymion, the Crescent Magistus. I did pull one of these out of my personal mini boxes that I opened, not on stream or not on video. So I'll put that in my normal super rare stack there. I don't think I'll need more than one. We'll see. Depending on how many I pull and how cheap it is, I might just go ahead and buy it. We're pulling a lot of these Shepherd's Crook. If I could turn these Shepherd's Crooks into the K9 Naroi, that would be pretty sweet. So can we slow down on the Shepherd Crooks and increase the K9, please? That would be great. Wow, that pack just completely ripped. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. We got a Radiant Typhoon Varun. So Radiance and Dooms are the 2 archetypes I might be buying. A play set of all the cards and, you know, testing them out. Just to see how they play, if they're any fun, any good. Because obviously the deck, really at this point, for a deck to be fun, it kind of has to be good. Because if the deck's not doing anything because your opponent's deck is too good, then, well, you're not going to be having a whole lot of fun. And we got a Marshmallow Yummy. First secret rare of this box, and that is our first Marshmallow. So that is pretty sweet. We got one in our 3rd box, so hopefully we can get at least a playset, but that is our first Marshmallow. And let's see, we got a Burning Blade here. Maybe that's a sign for a Starlight Rare of Marshmallow in the 2nd half of the box, maybe. This is the last pack on this half. So let's see, this is the 2nd half of this box coming up. Wanting to see a Starlight Rare here, because we'd like to get the, what should be, I believe, 3 Starlight Rares per case on average. Believe that's the standard. We got Axon Kicker. Super rare stack is growing quite fast. RB. Vengeful Witch. I will say that the condition of these cards looks better, at least while I'm going through them quickly, than it has in previous ones, previous sets that have opened recently, especially the Retro Pack 2s. Because holy cow, Retro Pack 2 was terrible. I don't know if it was a completely different print company or what, but those Retro Pack 2 reprints were abysmal. Condition wise, we got another Rage Rose Witch, so that's our 2nd one of those. They seem to be repeating the bad ultras and not repeating the good ones. We already have a playset of the RB Crooks, so Genesis Overlord, I've already got my playset pulled to the side, so I don't need to pull that one to the side anymore. We've got Axon Kicker Oracle. Let's see. We're near the end of this 3rd box here. We got a Bramble Rose Dragon. It is a plant synchro effect monster. It takes a plant tuner and a non-tuner. I believe it's the exact same stat line as Black Rose Dragon. 2400 attack, 1800 defense. Each time your opponent activates a monster effect, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. And if you do, all monsters your opponent currently control lose 600 attack. You can only use each of the following effects of Bramble Rose Dragon once per turn. During the main phase quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 Black Rose Dragon from your extra deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 level 4 or lower plant tuner from your graveyard. So that's pretty neat. It gets out a Black Rose Dragon as a quick effect to blow up the field. And in the meantime, you can do burn damage as well as permanently lower their attack 600 every time they activate a monster effect. So that's definitely interesting. I wonder if there's like a quick way to do a quick effect synchro summon of it. So maybe your opponent activates a monster effect and you could quick synchro into it on your opponent's turn. That would be something that would be pretty interesting and pretty cool. So no Starlight Rare through 3 boxes. On to the 4th, which is technically the last box if we want to stay on pace anyways. I know they don't have to come in order because the boxes did not stay in order or anything. But, you know, it's nice to get at least one every 4 boxes so you're not clumping them all together. We got a Radiant Typhoon Phonics, the Great Flame. And at the end, I'll kind of go through all of the cards and how many we got of each one. And that's probably where I'll put all of the prices for the most part. Just so that it's a little bit easier to see all the pricing and not having, I don't have a whole lot of time. So as far as for me, I'm also not a great editor, I'll be honest. But with the editing, for me, since I don't have a whole lot of time, I can kind of just go to the end of the video and add the prices as I go through them. So we got a Radiant Typhoon Crocea, a second one of those. So that is a good start to getting the full playset of that for whenever, or if I decide to buy those. Let's see. We got our first Starlight Rare. It is a Draco Awakening, which, if I'm being honest, not a Starlight Rare I really wanted. I'm sure this is one of those like $5 to $10 Starlight Rares. But for somebody that maybe wants to play the Draco stuff in like Genesis or whatever, True Dracos, maybe that's a good card for them. But yeah, it wasn't really something I was looking forward to, if I'm being honest. But we got it in the 4th box, so we did at least get one in that 4th box. So hopefully, because of that, we'll have 2 big hits. But we got a Radiant Typhoon Chant as an ultra rare. That is our first one of those so far in the case. All right. I wish they had like collector rares or something in here. I think they've only been doing that with the side sets as well. But that was a nice little addition to like the Justice Hunter stuff. It really helps the value of the full case because you get the collector rares and the Starlight rares to go along with. I know ultra rare is the highest like regular rarity. There's not any secret rares, but you know, that's still fine in my opinion. I mean, it didn't seem to affect Azuna's value that it was an ultra rare and not a secret rare. We got Radiant Typhoon Meghala. I mean, Azuna was still, when it came out, you know, $60 to $70, just fine as an ultra rare. So did not bother it one bit. All right, and we're on the second half of the 4th box now. We got another super rare of the Fire Warrior Link. We got a DDDD Dimensional King Art Crisis. I don't think you could fit any more D's on one card. That is maximum D's. All right. Which I guess there are technically the 5 dimensions, right? So until they create another one, I guess there, and maybe there's more now. I don't really know, but I know at least. I guess the 5Ds would be the 5th dimension, right? So there's definitely more. A Megalith. I think this is the first Megalith super rare I've seen, which is weird because main sets don't really have short prints. Maybe I missed it, but I don't recall seeing that one. We got a Doomsday XII0 Drastia as a secret rare. Not very expensive one, but you know, if you're looking for the Doom stuff, like I said, I might buy it just because it is cheap, and they seem to be doing a lot of Medius the Pure support, and maybe at some point, as we were talking about earlier with the 60 card decks and mashing things together, well, maybe there'll be some kind of deck that kind of mashes the Doom Z and the Art Mage and some different stuff together to form a pretty powerful deck that has a lot of different play lines that can happen through one card starters. We got DD0 Doom Queen Machine X, which, in case you guys haven't noticed, I haven't really talked much about the DDs. I'm not a big Pendulum fan. I don't really like playing with Pendulum stuff. Personally, that's kind of like when I quit, essentially, is when those first kind of came out. The Cleave Forts and stuff of that nature. I didn't find it very interesting or fun. I don't really think it's a very good strategy either, to be honest. Pendulums, they're kind of minuses a lot of times. You know, it's an interesting thing. I guess it's something that was worth trying, but it pushed a lot of players away, and Konami even knows that. It seems like at this point, since the Genesis format does not allow them, but it still allows newer cards, right? So it's definitely one of those things where they understand people don't want to play with pendulums. It's a hard barrier of entry, I guess you could say. It's hard to understand pendulums in general, and then link monsters, I guess, is difficult for some people. I don't really know why they excluded them other than to make it different than the standard format. But you know, whatever. All right, starting another box, another fresh box here. Doomsday Raiders. Let's see, we've got Radiant Typhoon Swin, which I don't recall seeing a Swin yet, so that might be our first Swin. Hopefully we get at least a playset of all of every card in the set. That's kind of the hope. I know with Justice Hunters, I did end up with a playset of every card, and I believe the same thing for Maze of the Master. Those are the only two cases I've ever opened, but again, I believe I got a playset of everything in those as far as secrets, ultras, and stuff like that go. Even in Maze of the Master, I had the full playset of Cerulean, as well as a collector rare. So this is the Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, the Thunderbolt, which I'm looking for Regenesis. It does have the stat line that's required for Regenesis of the 2500. And during the main phase, if a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field, so just anything from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you can set a Dogmatica trap from your deck. It can be activated this turn, so you can just set Dogmatica Punishment, or the other Dogmatica trap that we already looked at during this opening. I'm sure there's other ones that are interesting. But while your opponent controls a Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link monster with 2500 or more attack, so it does have to have the attack part there, but that's fine. You can only use each effect of Fleur-de-Lis, the Thunderbolt, once per turn. But that is a card I am 100% pulling to the side. I do need 3 of that for my Regenesis deck. So glad to get that one. Still need 2 more. They're relatively cheap. They were roughly $11 last I checked, so it may, you know, if I don't pull it, I'll probably end up buying them, but we'll see. I think it's something that can help me cut part of the Dogmatica package out of the deck, honestly, but maybe I keep it all there and try the 60 card build and see what happens. So let's see, Draco Awakening. That is the first Draco Awakening other than the Starlight Rare, but not exactly the most exciting Starlight Rare for sure. I mean, if I had to guess, it might be the worst one, if I had to take a guess. But I don't know all of the Starlight Rares, if I'm being fair, so maybe it's not, but it's definitely a rough one. And we're almost done with the first half of this box. Another of the Goki Tyrant. We're getting close to halfway through. Radiant Typhoon. I think the Dominus secret rare might be the only secret rare we had duplicates of, maybe. So far, we've got. Oh, we have duplicates of the Crocea as well. So we got 2 Spiral, 2 Crocea, however you want to say it. I'll leave the Fleur-de-Lis in here for now, just so that, again, when I go over at the end of the video, I've got it here. So let's see, another K9 guy. We got another Radiant Typhoon, Phonics, the Great Flame, ultra rare. We've got 2 or 3 of him. We've got RB Operation Test. We're down to, we're almost done with this box. Once we're done with this box, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes left. DD Wise King Solomon. This is the 5th box. You got Doomsy 12 and Drastrius. Alright, interesting, interesting. That is the first one of that secret, so at least we're getting a good little mix here. Another of the Megalith card. Really would like to run into another Marshmallow here soon, so I have hopes of having a playset. So I'm trying to decide if I want to play Regenesis or try to play Yummy. Having not played in a long time, I do keep up with everything. We got the Tri-Brigade Arms Mauser, which is a pretty decent card that I will probably have in my Gladiator Beast deck. And maybe I can find some other use for it other than just Gladiator Beast Tri-Brigades, but we'll see. What was I talking about? Forgot what I was talking about now. Yeah, going to locals. I haven't played in a while. So there's going to inevitably, there's going to be cards that I don't necessarily know what to do off the top of my head. There'll be cards that I've seen, but I'm like, I have no idea. Like these Doom Z cards. I have no idea what they do. If I'm being honest, I just know they work with Medius the Pure. I already have Medius the Pure. And they're all cheap cards. So it's one of those things where it's a little bit of like an investment. You kind of hold on to it, see if it goes up in value over time, because maybe more support comes out, maybe the meta shifts, things get banned, things get limited, all that kind of stuff. Things get unbanned. You know, there's always the potential that something pops up that makes that deck pop off, and then suddenly the cards are all highly sought after and hard to find. Another one of the maximum D here, we'll call it maximum D, King Arc Crisis Ultra. We got Radiant Typhoon Eldom, which I know we've had that one, but I don't feel like we've had too many of it. There's a lot of the Radiant cards are foils, which is interesting, that there's so many of them, but yet it doesn't seem to really be worth playing much of. Another Radiant Typhoon guy. I'm also curious to see, because I know a lot of people are saying that the Radiant deck is really good in Genesis or whatever. I'll be curious to see how that can affect the market. I know there were some things that, you know, day one and, you know, early on kind of got affected, like Pot of Greed, because now you can play Pot of Greed, right? But, you know, I don't know how it's going to affect it long term. I guess it kind of depends on if Genesis gets popular and stays popular. I know a lot of people are playing it right now because it's kind of like the new shiny toy, another Shepherd's Crook. Hello, can we get duplicates of other things? That's like our 4th one of those, I think, which is just wild considering how few we have of the good ones, like the Neroi. Yeah, that's 4 Shepherd's Crook. So they're really trying to get us to play RBs, apparently. And I just don't think it's going to happen. So there's that. Horned Brute. All right. Um, like I said, I thought about RB. I think the concept of it's pretty cool, but you know, the deck obviously is not performing. So I think it's had one top, maybe. It's not like a top 8 either. We got our second Dracotel, Rexel. I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't really know. I'm trying my best. These card names are honestly absurd at this point. There is unfortunately a little nick at the top of this one. So typically on the ones like this, I buy the worst condition one for myself so that my customers get the better condition stuff. Just so that you're aware. But it did have a little dot there, unfortunately. But that'll be fine. Like I said, I'll buy it for myself, and I can buy it as a light play or whatever, and move on. And it will play just fine. Typically, the damage stuff won't bother me too much. Radiant Typhoon Chant. Obviously, if it's too bad, like I have some old effect failures, ultra rares, where the edges are just completely hollow because they've been played so much and shuffled so much and everything, so they don't look too great. And they kind of bother me a little bit because you can see the edges quite a bit in a sleeve. So they just look like trash, honestly. But they still work. Technically, the effect failures still get their effect. So we got Vengeful Witch. Come on. Well, I guess we already got our second secret. The secret from this half of the box, from the Frexel. So we won't get any more secrets, but maybe we get a Starlight Rare again here soon. Should be getting one soon, I think. In the next box or so, on average anyways. We got our second K904 Neroi, which is a solid pull. Again, it's the best ultra rare, so really hoping to pull more of those. Because technically, the pull rates are supposed to be the same for everything. They're not supposed to be short printed cards in this, standard set, they say. And, I mean, to be fair, the numbers pretty much support that, from what I can tell. I did look at one of the videos out there that kind of broke down pools from a lot of different stuff. We got the DDD Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. I don't think I've seen this card yet, honestly, which is kind of weird. It doesn't, like, it's just because it's the DDDs, I think, because I just don't care for them. It's a deck I will never play or build, probably. So I know a lot of people love them, but it is not for me. We got Goki Machine. Another of the K9 Jacks card. I'm going to move some of the commons again. The stat gets so big so fast on the commons for these case openings. And then I have to go find a place to put them, which is a little hard. We got another Swin. I think that gives us, it's either 2 or 3 Swins. Megalith. Radiant Typhoon. Megala, I believe is how you pronounce it. We got a Doomsday 12 end Drastrius. I think that's 12 anyways. It looks like it's 12. It's, it looks like the 10-2 from Final Fantasy, right? So that's where I'm getting the 12 from. Anyways. Everyone called it 10-2, so let's see. Even though it is, I think, 10-2, it's not actually 12, so I don't know. Disregard that. That was probably a stupid comment. Because I believe 10-2 is actually 10-2. But whatever. Radiant Typhoon, again, another one of that guy. The Vibrant Vortex. We've got plenty of him. Probably about 15 of them already. Draco Awakening, another one of the ultra rares that we don't need. That we now have 2 of. and a Starlight Rare of it, unfortunately. We got Doomsy Command. Flying through these now. Doomsy 7. Last pack for this half of the box. We got a Horned Brute. I have to like kind of drag the packs down because they're so far away. I can't reach the top stacks. RB Operation Test. Goki the Tyrant Ogre. I have a decent bit of the Goki stuff from, a while back because I like to have a lot of deck cores. I don't know why, but I do. Jupiter the Power Patron of Destruction is a card that some people have been talking about and playing within Genesis format. It does take 3 level 10s, but interesting card for sure. This card is once per turn you can also exceed summoner Jupiter the Power Patron of Destruction by using one monster you control that's equipped with 3 or more equipped cards. Transfer its materials. If this card is exceed summon, you can equip as any number of equipped spells from your graveyard to this card that can equip to it. It gains 3000 attack while it has an exceed monster as material. And once per turn, you can attach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 Doom Z monster from your graveyard, then you can destroy 1 card on the field. So it goes to 6500 attack, and you get a Doom Z monster, and you get to destroy a card. I mean, it's definitely an interesting card, for sure, to say the least. Oh, and you get the equips, which can obviously make it over 8,000 as well, so quite interesting. And just to note, it did say 1 card on the field, so you could even destroy one of your own cards. I know there's some equipped cards that have effects if they get destroyed that are, a positive effect for you to have it destroyed. So that might be something you want to do. Bramble Rose Dragon. There might be some kind of crazy combo with that. I just don't know it yet. But again, I've kind of heard people wanting to use it or using it in Genesis format. So figured I would mention it. And if I, get the Doomsy stuff, that's definitely a card I would want at least one of. Anyways, quite interesting, and none of this stuff is really that expensive overall, except for like Marshmallow. The Dracotel secret rare is roughly that like $16 to $18 range or so, and the K9 Neroi is 15 or so. But other than those, and the Dominus Spiral, I mean, this set really isn't that terrible when it comes to the overall value. It seems like, if I'm being honest. I mean, especially now, at this point, there's boxes are like 40 something dollars a piece, and I've seen cases for like 430 bucks or something crazy, which is super cheap for 12 boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh that has a card that's worth $60. And if you get the Starlight of it, it's currently, I think it's like $180. So it's pretty wild to think about, which is why you see me doing more like Yu-Gi-Oh stuff versus like, say, Pokemon. Pokemon is so expensive now that even in some cases, now not with this new Mega Evolution set, but in prior sets, we got another DD Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. In previous sets, even like the big hit card is a lot of times worth less than a box cost. So like, what's the point if you're looking for value, right? Now, if you're trying to just buy the stuff to play, and you just like to collect on there as well, and you like to open the packs and all that, that's totally fine. Obviously, people like to open the packs and collect and do all of that kind of stuff as a hobby, and I 100% understand, because that was me not all that long ago. But I decided to kind of find a way to supplement my hobby, where I'm not having to actually pay money anymore, because I sell the cards I open that I don't want, and then I just buy the cards that I do want from myself, and it has been working. I haven't had to add any money into the account ever. So I've never used any of my own personal money towards the business. I mean, in a way I did, because I had cards that I had just saved up over the years. But then, my business, um, I was able to buy them essentially from myself, and just kind of, uh, you know, start selling cards. So I just started by selling cards that I already had that I didn't care for anymore. I cut down on my total collection, specifically Pokemon, and sold a lot of old cards to really get going and get moving. Um, so, pretty neat. Power Patron Doom Z. But it helps fund all of this stuff, right? So, all the videos, everything that you see, it's all money that's funded by just essentially recycling the money um, from openings, right? Listing everything that I pull for sale, or buying it for myself at market price. So I literally pay the full price, just like anyone else, from my personal bank account to buy the cards if I want them. Um, so I still spend money, obviously, but on the opening part, which is what I enjoy doing, I'm not. So it's costing me the same in most cases. Another Dracotel Phyrexil, and sometimes I'm profiting. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see a lot of the times I am making a profit on the stuff that I'm opening. And then like Wild Survivors at one point, before obviously all the bans and everything. It was actually long before K9 even came out, but we knew of it. The prices were skyrocketing on all the Vanquish Soul stuff. So I was buying those boxes. I bought a bunch of boxes for $35 a piece, and it made a whole lot of profit, for sure. Because I remember pulling like collector rare, the spell card that they use in Vanquish Soul that just got limited to one. I pulled the collector rare version of that Staker Soul, and I pulled several of the normal printing of it as well, and the rosins. I know I had a play set of those and everything, so that set really really took off, and I made a lot of money on that one. And then Maze of the Masters, if you guys watched that, I made a couple $100 if I remember right on there. So I believe I did the first Can We Profit video on there. I haven't done a second one yet because honestly right now the market's been a little crazy with Genesis and everything going on. And so I'm trying to do research and find stuff that would make sense. At this point, the only things that really are standing out to me are kind of like your Stampede and Bonanza sets. Stampede I'm more interested in just because it's a little cheaper, and you have things like Pualos. Now, Bonanza does have the triple tactic, not triple tactic talents, thrust. It has the triple thrust or whatever, which is a very good spell card that people are definitely using a lot of right now. Because, well, your opponent uses a hand trap to stop you from comboing or something. Thrust can go get you a spell, right? It can go get you a spell or something that you need to start your combos or another combo line, if you're not able to use the card more than once per turn. So let's see, we got double fusion. We're getting to the point where we should be close to our second Starlight Rare soon. Again, obviously the boxes get mixed up, so they could be the last two boxes have them, but mathematically on average we should be close. We do have 4 boxes left, so this is our first of the Lambda Cannon, so that's interesting. We have duplicates of a bunch of the Ultras, but not the Lambda Cannon. Strange. We do have our playset of the Dracotel Phyrexil, which we don't need. We only needed one. We still only have one Marshmallow, which I'm not gonna lie, a little sad about that. I really would like to pull a playset of Marshmallow. That would be ideal. Masterpiece, the true Draco, whatever Lord thing that I'll never play in my life. Great. I know people do like the true Draco stuff, but I did not play during that time, so I'm not that worried about it. Personally, I don't have any like interest in that specific deck. If I'm playing anti-meta, there's other stuff, and I enjoy Regenesis personally. So that's just me though. Let's see, RBGA10 Pile Bunker. Interesting. What a name. You got another Arms Mauser. We really need these marshmallows to pick up. I'm gonna need marshmallow to pick up a lot here, because I really want that playset. I feel like if you buy a case, at least in the past, like I said, my other cases have all gotten a playset of like everything. So, Vengeful Witch, and this is the last pack on this half. So we have 3.5 boxes left. So really not all that much left to do to get 2 more marshmallows. So at least at a minimum. So let's see. I'm just gonna move these packs over here so they're a little closer. Power Patron Doom V. Axon Kicker. We've got DVD Zero, Doom Queen, Machine X, whatever. I put some commons in the foil section. I don't know what's going on over there. It's late. It's at 12:30 at night right now. I've been doing this for like an hour or so already at this point. So let's see, Ichiki again. Come on, Marshmallow. You were one of my first secret rares, so it made me feel very good. And then we've seen 3 Draco Tail ones since then. And this is our second Thunderbolt, so that was important. Like I said, I do want 3 of those. So nice to see a second one of those. I feel pretty good. Maybe we'll get one more. Because really, that leaves us with only 6 more secret rares left in the case. So we're really pushing it close here on the end to try and get try and get 2 marshmallows in the last 6 secret rares. So we got a Rage Rose Witch. And I mean, I guess if I pulled a Starlight one, obviously I can just sell that, and then you know, I can purchase investment marshmallows essentially, using that. If I think it might go up, I don't really personally think that will go up though. So, you know, it is what it is on that front. But maybe I can trade in some stuff for my business from my personal collection to get the money for the marshmallow, because I really don't want to spend $50 out of pocket for it, because that sounds terrible. So just my opinion, but I understand why people do. I don't get to play all that much. We got our playset of K904 Neroi, so that playset is done, thankfully, but I would be happy to get more. We have less than 3 boxes total left, so hoping for 2 Starlight Rares here in the closing 3 boxes. And really, to pull the value out, we got a Doomsy End again. That's a playset of that one, not the secret we want a playset of. Come on. This this case is seemingly a little rough. Definitely a little rough. Let's see, RB operation test. But hopefully we'll have a Starlight Rare that kind of revives this case opening, because right now it's definitely the first case opening that's a loss. I'll say that much at this point. Man. Ichiki. This is the last part of this half, so we have 2.5 boxes left. Not a lot, honestly, not a lot. We got 5 secret rares left, roughly. It looks like 5 left. Based on how the secret rares have been on one half of the box each time. And 2 marshmallows are needed. I'm not feeling great. Come on. Draco Awakening. Gosh, that card's haunting me. I'm gonna have nightmares about Draco Awakening tonight. All right. And we got these True Draco cards just won't leave me alone. A Starlight Rare Masterpiece, the True Draco Overlord. Oh my god. Not good hits on the Starlight Rares. I do not care about True Dracos one bit. I have no interest in that deck. Crocea, it's our playset of that. Cool. But where's the yummies? Where's the marshmallows? They say they don't short print, but where's the marshmallows? Come on. We know there's not another secret in this side, and there's not going to be another Starlight Rare in here. So, I mean, I couldn't even imagine getting 2 Starlight Rares in the same box. That would be absolutely insane. Doom 5. Right. I just can't believe the amount of True Draco stuff that I'm seeing. I mean, the deck does nothing at this point in its life. Even with the support, it's not doing anything out there. Again, maybe in Genesis, since it doesn't use the extra deck or anything, you know, it's possible that maybe it does something, but golly, hopefully. I mean, there's still hope for a Marshmallow Starlight Rare, but based on how poorly this case is pulled so far, it's looking like this case is just a bad case. This is just a bum case. Got 1 Marshmallow, 2 boxes left. Let's see if we can get lucky, turn this thing around, turn the opening around all together. We got another one of Jupiter. We got Flashy Fortnite. Another of the Yum Yum Yummies. Oh, we got a Marshmallow. We got our second Marshmallow. So we got 3 more secrets left. We've got 2 marshmallows. We need 1 more. 1 more. All right, we are at a good spot now. We got a marshmallow, so 1 more marshmallow so we can have our play set in case I do decide to play that at locals. We'll see. I'm comfortable with Regenesis. I feel relatively good about like going first Yummy, but you know, obviously once people start throwing in hand traps and interrupting you, and people know where to interrupt the combos, and you haven't played like me, and games like Master Duel don't give you the opportunity to play new cards, it's kind of hard to practice. I don't like dueling book, whatever. I can't deal with it. All the manual parts of it, it's just too much for me to want to do. I understand, great for other people testing. It's great for people, you know, that are also just testing with friends. I'm definitely more open to playing it with friends, but random people, when I did play it back in the day, I just ran into so many issues with the random people having misclicks and stuff, and not understanding how cards work. at all, like rulings. I know I even had like the stereotypical MST negates situation at one point, and that was long before the Radiant card that actually makes it negate. The Radiant trap card does make MST negate a card on the field actually. So definitely interesting, but it was long before that, and you know, people just don't understand all the rules, right? So how you found a dueling book without knowing much about Yu-Gi-Oh or how to play Yu-Gi-Oh is interesting. But I guess if you're new and maybe you went to locals and you talked to some people, maybe they pointed you in the direction of dueling book. I'm not sure, but either way, we got Doomsy V5 Amalthi, or however you pronounce it. Most of the ultras we have a playset, or at least two of, it seems like. Even though I think the RB cannon thing we only had one of, which is interesting. We got Doomsy 7. Plenty of all the super rares at this point, it seems like. Another RB super rare. We got a Bramble Rose Dragon as the secret rare on this half of the box. So we need the last box to have a Marshmallow in it. We're still looking for a third Starlight Rare as well. So that could be either in these last few packs here or in the last box. So maybe we got randomly lucky in the Starlight Rares in the last box. Maybe it's a double Marshmallow box. Maybe it's a Starlight Rare Secret Rare Marshmallow. We got our second Lambda Cannon, which I just was talking about how we only had one. So interesting. We got that. At least I think it's only one. We've opened so many cards here. We've got a Doomsy Break. We've got Power Patron Doomsy. Last pack of this box before we go on to the last box. It is an Axon Kicker Oracle. We're on the last box now, hoping for the third Starlight Rare that, you know, we should get based on the fact that we're opening a case here. Typically you get 3. From my understanding, it's 1 in every 4 boxes roughly. And then we're also looking for the third Marshmallow. So let's hope for the last box magic. Radiant Typhoon Chant. That's either my second or third of that. But I did, I believe, pull one from the mini boxes, so I should have a playset by now. Goku Machine Suprex, which I assume is decent because Suprex was the good one. We got K966X Jax, Megalith, Radiant Typhoon. We should be coming up on the secret rare here any pack now. And Doomsy Break. DD0 Doom Queen Machine X. Definitely have at least a playset of that one now. Yum yummies. We only have 2 packs left and we haven't seen a secret rare on this half yet, so that's different. Flashy Sports Night. Are we gonna have one secret rare this box? All the nope. Okay, Masterpiece, Draco Lord, whatever. So we need our last secret rare to be a Marshmallow. Or if it's a Starlight Rare, our last Starlight Rare, which again we should get based on the ratios. But this has been a pretty bad box, so who knows? If it is a Marshmallow, that is technically a playset. But the Starlight Rare will be sold, and it is not. It is a maximum D Starlight Rare. Maxed out on the Ds. Most Ds on one card. So the Starlight Rare Marshmallow Dream is dead. We have one secret rare remaining, which is in this half of the box. we got a Maximum D, back-to-back packs of Maximum D. One Starlight, one not. So all my Starlight Rares were all of the ones I don't want. Interesting. Great. So hoping Marshmallow. Come on, Marshmallow. I just need the third Marshmallow. That's all I need. Please. Just a third Marshmallow. And while this box or this case has not been the greatest, if I can get a third Marshmallow to end things, I will be a happy man. Got very few packs left. Double fusion. Either way, we're not going to walk out of here with a play set of all the cards we wanted because we only have 2 Thunderbolts as well. So very interesting. A K9 Neroi, so we got a 4th one of those, which is neat. Probably the best Ultra to have duplicates of. And like I said, I didn't keep the K9s, so I will be, moving on from those K9s as well. K9s are very good deck. It's just not something that interested me. Regenesis Overlord. We got 2 packs. We have 1 secret in these 2 packs. We got a Goki here. So the last pack magic. Last pack of the case. This should have a secret rare in it based on the, the pull rates and everything. We are looking for Marshmallow, or if it's not Marshmallow, Thunderbolt. Those are the only 2 secret rares I really want in this at all. So I think I got it right. So yeah, I think we've got it all. So where all the commons are on the front. And the last card is a Doomsy Zero Dristia. Great. So we'll go really quickly through the more expensive cards, the secrets, the ultra rares, and the Starlight Rares are pretty simple, but I'm still going to hold them up individually so I can put the prices up on the screen. For my memory, none of these Starlight Rares are very valuable in comparison to, the cost of buying the cards, the packs, and the cases and all that. So we did get the Maximum D, Quadruple D, Dimension King, Arc Crisis. We got the Masterpiece, the True Draco Overlord Starlight Rare as well, and the Draco Awakening Starlight Rare. For the secrets, I'm going to go ahead and separate these out really quick. Let's see, got the one Thunderbolt, Dracover, Draco Tail, that, Bramble, yeah. And it does look like we at least got one of everything, which is a bonus, I guess. But we definitely got extras of some stuff here that we didn't need. Actually, we didn't get 4 of anything, but we didn't get the playset of the Marshmallow that we really wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and stack these up, and then I will kind of hold them up, individually, again, just to kind of show, so I can put the prices up on the screen for you guys and show you kind of what you can expect. I would say from a bad case, we got 2 of the DDD Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. We got the full playset of Dracotel Phyrexial, but you only need 1. So 2 of those will be sold, and on my TCG Player store in the description, and I will be buying 1 from myself. We got 2 of the Dogmatica Floralise, the Thunderbolt, which this will be a card I'm buying both of for myself, and I'll be buying 1 more to go into my Regenesis deck. We got 3 Bramble Rose Dragons. We've got 2 Masterpiece, the True Draco Overlords. We got 2 of the Doomsy XII Zero Dristia. We got a playset of the Doomsy XII End Drastrius. We got 2 Dominus Spirals. We've got 2 Marshmallow Yummies, which is the big hit from the set. And we got a full playset of the Crocias, which You know, I might have a full playset of all the Radiant stuff because of that. So that's definitely interesting. At least it's, you know, one of the secrets that isn't terrible to have a playset of. I'm just trying to move everything out of the way here because the ultras, to lay these out, will need a little bit more space. But I'm going to lay these out so I can kind of stack them up just like I did with the secret rares, and get everything together for you so you can see it all. Draco Awakening. Gosh, that card, I'm so overseeing that card at this point. Just that card was the start of the bad luck for the box, it feels like. As soon as I saw that Starlight Rare. Let's see. Lambda Cannon, another Radiant Typhoon. I'm going to try to put those together. Black Rose, the Maximum D. Mausers, Black Rose again. We got another Jupiter. Draco Awakening. Let's see. Radiant Chance, all of the Crooks. The Crooks did slow down though. After I asked them to kind of go away, they did. They definitely, they kind of went away. So, Swin, Sheen, Maximum D. We did get 3 Chance. We got 3 of each of the monsters that I can see here. 4 Radiant. So it does appear that, at least with the Ultra Rares, we got at least a playset of all of them, I believe, except for the Lambda Cannon. So let me stack these up here really quick and we will go through them. And then, like I said, I'll make sure that the values are up on the screen as well. Drake Overlord. Yeah, hate that card so much. I just don't want the True Draco stuff personally. I feel like they were just in my way. They kind of ruined my whole case between the Starlight Rare and all that stuff. So they came up at all the wrong times. Anyways, we've got, starting out, we did pull 4 of the K904 Neroi. We pulled 3 Radiant Typhoon Swin, 4 Radiant Typhoon Phonics the Great Flame, 3 Radiant Typhoon Chant, 4 of the Quadruple D Dimensional King Arc Crisis Maximum D. We pulled 4 of the DDD Zero Doom Queen Machine X. A playset of Draco Awakening, of course, not including the Starlight Rare. Playset of Doom Z5 Amalith. 2 RB Lambda Cannons. 3 Tri-Brigade Arms Mausers. 4 Black Rose Gardens. 2 Jupiters. We got 4 of the Rage Rose Witch. And 4 RB Shepherd's Crook. So those are all of the Ultras, Secret Rares, and Starlight Rares that we did pull from our case. Like I said, I feel like that's got to be a lower end case, with these being the Starlight Rares. Now maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like these 3 Starlight Rares are probably the lower 3 Starlight Rares in this set. But I do appreciate you guys for watching. Check in the description if you see any cards here that you are interested in. My link to my TCG Player store is in the description, and you'll be able to see all of my cards listed there. And I look forward to probably opening more of this, honestly. I now that the boxes are so cheap, it's probably more worth it, maybe. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like a lot of the cards in the set. I just feel like I got super unlucky with all of my Starlight Rares being the 2 archetypes that I just don't care about at all. I would rather just about anything, the Doom Z, the Radiant, or like the Fleur-de-Lis Thunderbolt, the Draco Tail, the Marshmallow, obviously. Any of those would have been so much better. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.